Welcome to Inside Boxing's Throwdown. Aurelio Martinez, Steve Johnson. And I'll tell you in this episode, we're going to go ahead and talk about what's coming up and what we can look forward to this weekend. And this weekend, I'll tell you what, Steve, we got a couple of good ones. Maybe if they happen, they may happen, may not happen. We got the Zab Judah card that's on again, off again, on again. He's going to fight this guy, he's going to fight this guy. Kind of thing. We're going to talk about that. But before we talk about that, let's talk about the Saturday's fight, which we got
on Showtime.
On Showtime. So go ahead, start us off real quick and let us know what we got.
Showtime, we have an interesting card, which it'll probably be entertaining, Radio, because in the heavyweight division, we have Stiverne, and he's taking on Derek Rossi. That should be a good, entertaining fight. These guys are both trying to keep their name in the mix for the heavyweight division. And then more attractive for that is probably going to be that fight where we have
the undefeateds.
Where we have
the undefeateds, Frank Galarraza.
Frank Galarraza and Hurd, Jarrett Hurd, right? And they're both undefeated, and that's where we're going to be an interesting super welterweight fight.
Well, you know what? You got Frank at 17-0, and then you got Hurd
at 16-0.
At 16-0, okay. The key there that I see is with Galarza, okay. He got them two draws, and I always question the draw. Okay,
depends where it was at.
Without seeing it, you don't think, but right, first hand mind comes is you get a draw that you lost.
You do?
Yeah, if you fought at home and you get a draw, well then you really lost.
Well, that's what I said. Depends on where it was at.
That's what I mean.
He was on the road.
And I can't say, but them two draws kind of raise a little question mark. Where you got Hurd, where he ain't got no draws. He's all undefeated.
He's got 10 KOs from his 16 wins.
And he's got 10 KOs. So if I was looking at this fight on paper, okay, just on paper, I would say my money would go on Hurd. Okay,
I feel the same way.
But either way, that's on Showtime, so we're going to be able to watch that. Stiverne, okay.
Stiverne.
I thought he retired after he got that ass whipping by my man Wilder.
Deontay handled him pretty easily, and I don't know. Stiverne, before the Wilder. I'll call it the Wilder incident, because he ran his mouth a lot and then didn't perform at all. He was pretty much a tough out.
But you know what?
And there's another example of a guy in that Wilder fight. He really didn't fight. Whatever happened, he didn't let his hands go.
Well, I think Wilder had a lot to do with that.
Well, I'm sure.
And I'm gonna tell you what, Wilder. That was the springboard to Wilder, because if you remember, Wilder was always kind of just kind of mellow and everything like that. But after he handed this ass whipping to Stiverne and all the talking that was going back and forth, man, that just catapulted Wilder. Now Wilder can't shut up. I mean, now he can't be quiet. No, he's the best. He's gonna do this. But good for him, man. Good for him.
Hey, we'll see what happens. But like
so
I said,
Stiverne's coming back. He's gonna come back into the ring, and he's got Derek Rossi in there, and Derek Rossi, I don't know what kind of...
Well, I can tell you. Okay. Let me just tell you this. He's lost 10 fights, and 5 of them he's been knocked out. So, there you go. If Stiverne is back on point, he should knock Derek Rossi out, or he should stop him, But if he doesn't, then he's back in the pack of the all-stars.
Well, so would you say anything less than a knockout is kind of a letdown
for
Stiverne?
Without a doubt. If you're fighting a guy that's lost 5 of his 10 have been by KO, and you're supposed to be the top, you're supposed to stop this guy. And like I said, this is a Showtime fight. This isn't pay-per-view or anything. This is a guy that he should stop. But let me go back there. I have to talk about this Friday night fight card that's promoted. Let me give you guys the names of the 4 promoters.
We're going to talk about this Zab Judah. The Zab Judah, because, I cannot see how much trouble there has been in trying to get this fight set and gone to go. So go ahead, Steve. Talk about that.
Well, let's just talk about this fight for a minute, because this fight was scheduled for Friday on CBS Sports. Okay, so that means that this is a fight that CBS invested some money in this thing.
Yes.
Okay, the promoters: Roy Engelbrecht Events, Greg Cohen Promotions, Keith Veltray, Roy Jones Promotions, and Roy Jones Promotions.
4.
Okay, there's 4 promoters. That's a problem first. 4 promoters, but more important, as far as I'm concerned, the mere fact that we have boxers on this card that started off with originally was Zab Judah against Juan Carlos Beltran. Okay, and we knew that was probably going to be a problem, because if you remember, there started to be all these issues. With Juan Carlos Salgado.
Sagado.
Okay. And Calzado had lost his last 4 fights in a row, 2 of them by KO. We all figured that this was going to be a bum fight, but we've had some other fighters on there. One, Ava Knight in particular. Ava Knight's one of the top female boxers in the country. Ava has, just yesterday, she posted saying that she's hearing that the fight is back on. Okay? So now we had the fight off. It was originally booked, canceled, now back on, canceled, now back on. This is a travesty as far as I'm concerned for what we call free TV. We're all excited about having free boxing back on free TV, but I would have to think that if this fight doesn't happen, CBS will be done. Well,
he'll be done with them. The problem you have, and I'm saying, you got 4 promoters, so you got 4 chiefs. It's all chiefs, and you got one guy digging the hole. Okay, it's kind of like city workers here, where you got 4 supervisors watching the Mexican dig the hole. Okay,
editor at InsideBoxing.com. I'm not
same difference. Okay, you got 4 promoters. And you got 4 promoters that got their chest out. Okay, I mean, and they want to be the chief.
Exactly.
You got 4 chiefs, so that immediately tells you there's going to be some turmoil in this.
Yep.
But that creates havoc in a boxer. Okay, that's why I always tell my boxers, you don't listen to that. You train for a fight on that specific day, because you don't go on again, off again, on again, and you don't train in a roller coaster mode. You just stay full forward, which isn't easy to do, but it's up to the trainer to keep at his fighter to make sure he fights. If it happens, his fighter's going to be ready. If it doesn't happen, then no loss. He's trained for a fight. Okay, so the problem is when you go on and off again, try not to peak your fighter, then you create problems for the fighter. So.
Well, folks, let's just see. I don't even know if I want to say let's hope this fight card goes off. At this point, I would have to see, like you said, so much turmoil. There's no way, as a fighter, that you could not pay attention to all of this going on.
And don't forget, you got the 4 chiefs, and then you got the guy in the main event, Zab Judah, who thinks he's a chief. Okay, and should be the chief. So I'm sure he's picking and choosing and saying, wait a minute. All them guys, I'm not fighting him, I'm not fighting him, I'm not fighting him. I don't know if that's the case, but that's kind of the scene that I get in the back of my mind, that's what you're getting, and that's why, because what's so hard about putting a fight card together? You're on CBS, free TV, the fans love free boxing,
yes,
and you can get your shit together to put on the show. I mean, something's wrong with that picture.
There's more than something wrong with that picture. It's just, like I said, it's going to be a travesty if it doesn't happen at this point.
But anyway, if it happens, it's when?
It'll be Friday night.
CBS?
Yes.
CBS, okay. So check your calendars, check your local calendars, CBS, local, and see if the fight's going to happen. If you change to the channel and it's supposed to be fight and you see opera on, then you know something happened that didn't happen. Okay, or if you see a infomercial in there about buy the George Foreman cook or something, you know the fight never went on. So.
All right, we're gonna cut this episode is gonna be a little bit short because we come back on our 3rd episode. As you guys know, it's our amateurs, and we're gonna pick up where we ended up last week to talking about the finals from the Women's USA Boxing Championships, the Olympic trials. We've got a definite winner there. On Sunday we had Michaela Meyer fighting Jahaira Gonzalez. We've got a winner there. We'll talk about that in a minute when we come back.
Okay, now we're going to talk about that for a minute. So you come back after that because the rest of that segment is going to be all about Cotto and
Miguel Cotto and
Canelo
Alvarez.
That fight's coming up, and we got a lot to talk about, man.
November 21st.
We got some beef on that fight, so come back and watch that.
Most definitely.
Okay.
So as usual, when we end every episode, what do we do, Radio?
Keep your hands up, baby.
Keep them up, baby.